Generative AI tools can be used for lots of aspects of content creation, from writing to creating images. But what about using AI to repurpose your long videos into short-form social media videos? With short, vertical videos being so important these days, I want to take a look at how the pros and cons of using a Gen AI tool compares to the way we do this at Content 10x, where humans play more of a key role. Let's put Gen AI versus agency to the test. Let's jump in. You're listening to the Content 10x podcast, where it's all about content repurposing. I'm Amy Woods, and I'm here to help you maximize your content and find smart ways to get your message in front of more of the right people, whilst also saving time. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to the Content 10x podcast. I'm your host, Amy Woods, and thank you so much for joining me today in this episode. Now, I'm going to be looking at the pros and cons for B2B marketers of using generative AI tools to help select and create video clips from our long-form videos to be shared on social media. This is a really important form of content these days. Short-form vertical videos in particular are becoming front and centre on LinkedIn with their new video-only feed in the app. I think we'd probably all agree that LinkedIn is the main B2B social media platform, so we should pay attention to vertical videos. So in this episode, I'll cover the pros and cons of using generative AI tools for clipping long videos into social media videos, and how having more of a human touch like we do at Content 10x makes a difference, but also the pros and cons to consider if deciding whether you want to use a Gen AI tool or perhaps ask an agency to create social media videos for you instead. So what really is the difference? And of course, I'll share some completely unbiased views on how to decide on the best way forward for you. Now, before I get to the main content, just to mention, if you want content repurposing tips and guidance, industry updates, inspiring stories, and exclusive news delivered straight to your inbox every other week, then join thousands of marketers, business owners, and creators and become a Content 10x insider. Head to content10x.com/newsletter. So as I was saying, short-form social media videos can tease information, they can direct people to your longer content. Vertical videos in particular are where it's at on Instagram, with Reels being the most popular part of the Instagram app. Of course, TikTok is all about vertical videos, very, very popular on YouTube as well with YouTube Shorts. And as I mentioned in the intro, there is so much attention being placed on vertical short-form videos on LinkedIn right now. As I record this episode, LinkedIn are rolling out their video-only feed in the app, which provides a continuous, immersive video experience just like TikTok and Reels. And as you are listening to this episode, maybe time has passed and that has moved on, and it's a main feature in the LinkedIn app for everybody. But certainly as they are rolling it out, they are prioritizing vertical videos, and people are getting insane reach on them as well. So they're taking vertical videos really seriously on LinkedIn. So I think we can all agree short-form vertical videos are important. And what's great is you can repurpose your longer videos into short social media videos. So let's say you record a weekly podcast that is a 1-hour video interview. You can repurpose that into a selection of social media videos. You could also repurpose webinars, keynotes delivered by yourself or leaders in your organization, videos from events. Really, any valuable long-form video could be ripe for repurposing into social media videos. And this is what we help our clients with day in, day out at Content 10x. That's one of the many service offerings that we provide, repurposing videos. So if you want to repurpose your long-form videos yourself, I'm sure you know how time-consuming it can be, trawling through, finding the best bits, editing to make it look good, adding captions. It's not a really quick task. But to save time and keep you focused on what you do best, I'm sure you're probably wondering how to improve the process and whether to use an AI tool to help you with this work, or if you have budget, then you could ask an agency like us at Content 10x. So let's take a look at the good, the bad and the robotic of that decision. Okay, so one of the big advantages of AI for video clip selection and creation is the time-saving factor. You have hours of webinar footage and you need to extract the best bits. An AI tool can zip through the content in seconds, potentially saving you hours of manual work trawling through that content. AI tools that can do this include Opus Clip and Lumen 5, to name a few. Many AI tools are surprisingly affordable, even some offer free options as well. And if you're working with a tight budget, then using a Gen AI tool can help you squeeze more value out of your long-form content without breaking the bank and saving a bit of time. But we notice some pitfalls of this approach of using generative AI tools. So first off, AI doesn't always hit the mark when it comes to selecting the best moments. What an AI considers interesting might not align with your audience's interests or your business goals, or also the specific platform that you're repurposing for as well. Now, through prompting, you can get AI to improve its clip selection, of course. You can train it to get better. But more often than not, we just find it doesn't do a great job of choosing the right clips. When we do this work, we put a lot of thought into exactly what sections of the long-form content will make good social media clips, and we have clear reasons why aligned with the overall content strategy. Another issue can be context. So social media clips that are repurposed from long-form videos need to be carefully selected so that they stand alone. You can watch the clip and you don't need to hear anything that was said either before or after the clip in order for it to completely make sense. AI tools often struggle to select clips that can stand alone without that additional explanation needed. So you know that feeling when you walk into a room and everyone's laughing at a joke that you missed? That's what your audience might experience if an AI selected clip lacks proper context. You just feel a bit left out and you don't really know what's being talked about, and I see this all the time. Now, branding is another area where AI tools can fall short because they usually have presets for things like colours and fonts of the captions and frames, so it can often be hard to make the video look exactly on brand if you only create it within the AI tool. So we find a lot of AI generated short form videos look the same. And then let's not forget about editing hiccups as well. When you're asking an AI to turn your landscape videos into vertical, let's just say I've seen some really interesting results because quite often it requires video editing to actually work. I saw a talking head video where two people were sat facing each other with a table in the middle with a bottle of water on, and they were doing an interview. And then the AI takes a clip and it creates a social media video, but it only takes the middle section of the video. So the entire vertical video has the sound of the two voices, but it shows a bottle of water on a table in the frame. So you are looking at a bottle of water in the table because it actually clipped out the people left and right that were talking. Now, obviously that is really hilarious and you might think I'm making this up, but I am not making this up. That's exactly what I've seen with a generative AI short form vertical video created from a landscape video, and that's not exactly what you would have in mind. So there is that additional editing that sometimes doesn't take place with these clipping tools. So using generative AI tools can be good and they can save time, but be very wary of all of the things I just mentioned. Often they don't actually save you much time when it comes to all the editing you might need to do. Now, let's shift gears and talk about using an agency for your video repurposing like us at Content 10X. This isn't a sales pitch, by the way, but I just want to explain what we would do and how it's not comparable to using an AI tool on its own. And this is what you can do too. You don't need to use an agency. Just explaining a bit more about the additional human touch that can go into this process. So one of the biggest advantages is the decision making that's being done by a person with a well-rounded understanding of your brand, your audience, your goals. Unlike AI, which can admittedly be trained well on you as a company, but agencies have experts who can dive deeper into your content and really just get what you're all about. So when it comes to then selecting the best bits from your long-form videos for social content, at Content 10X, that's a really important human touch that we would add. We hand select highlights that not only showcase your best content, but also resonate with your audience, and they will be really platform specific as well. So thought goes into making sure that each clip aligns perfectly with your overall strategy and your platform strategy, and that the social media video combined with good copy will have purpose and add value when published. And I touched all this already in the pitfalls with Gen AI tools, but clip selection, it's also got to pay attention to making sure the video is going to stand alone, so no additional context is required. So you've got to put it through that test as well. We're also going to be paying attention to any video editing. It isn't just about cutting and pasting. A human editor can make judgment calls that AI simply can't match. So we'll be sharpening the clip up with further editing to make it as impactful and easy to consume as possible. That might be just removing some ums and ahs and pauses that don't need to be there and things like that. And we could be panning left and right to different aspects of the video. So no videos of just a water bottle in the middle of the table, basically, but just adding that extra editing to make it more valuable. Perhaps it's got two people on screen and one person is answering a question and the other person is having a drink from their cup of tea or something like that. So we'd edit out the person having the drink from their cup of tea. That would be the perfect time to just pan straight in on the guest and not show the interviewer. So it's all those editing decisions like that to make sure that the clips look really good. We're also editing the video to make it on brand. We're not working with rigid presets on things like captions and colours and fonts, but instead editing to be completely right in terms of look and feel. And whilst we're creating videos, we'll be creating a whole suite of additional content to support them that will all be platform specific. So things like cover images and of course the all important social media copy to go with publishing the social videos, that it needs to be engaging in the right tone and complement the video content and add to the purpose of the post overall. So I think you can see that there are so many benefits of using Gen AI tools, of course, but there are drawbacks too, which you can overcome yourself or with help from experts who understand your business. Obviously, with an agency, though, there is a cost, and it's much more than a subscription to a Gen AI tool. But using the Gen AI tool and then the human review and edit and additional work, in many ways, it's not really therefore comparing the same thing. You don't have the same output at the end, because working with an agency would mean the expertise and a personalised service, and it would save you considerable time. So at Content 10X, we even offer publishing too. So as long as you give us your long form video and a brief, you can leave literally everything to us. Now, of course, working with an agency isn't an instant process either, though it takes time to brief them, to collaborate and review their work. But when you get into a rhythm with things, it becomes great. While the agency is hard at work on your content, you and your team are free to focus on other important tasks. So I guess the bottom line, should you go with an agency for helping to turn long form to short form or an outside expert, or should you use a Gen AI tool? Well, like many things in life, there's no one size fits all. And I think we can all agree that they are very different options overall. It's a little bit like deciding between eating a processed microwave meal for your evening meal or going to eat at a fancy restaurant. They're very different proposals, but at the end of the day, you are fed at the end. So it really just depends what you want and your budget and your time and things like that. If you're working with a tight budget and you need quick results, AI tools can be a great starting point. They can help you to dip your toes into video repurposing without a significant financial commitment. You just need time to finish off the process. And then on the other hand, if you're looking for high quality, brand aligned content that truly resonates with your audience, then an agency or an external expert, but working with somebody who can do all of that extra work that I've just discussed, might be the best way to go. It's a bigger investment, but the results can be worth it. So ultimately, the choice depends on your specific needs, budget, and goals. And of course, who says you can't do both as well? So we know many businesses that find success in using AI tools for quick day-to-day tasks whilst relying on agencies for the more high-stakes projects. So you can use AI for some of your long-form video repurposing and then add the additional human touch yourself. And then sometimes for certain types of long-form videos, maybe you would invest a little bit more and go for the higher quality that comes from working with an agency or an outside expert. So there you have it. That's my take on the pros and cons of using Gen AI as your video repurposing partner. Now, we have some great resources on other ways that you can use generative AI tools for B2B content marketing on our website. So if you'd like to see more, then head to content10x.com/blog. As always, this episode comes to you from Content 10x. We are the world's leading content repurposing agency. Our expert team transform B2B content into multiple formats and distribute it across various platforms. We help maximize your reach and impact. We take your core content and we create an array of high quality engaging assets, including videos and podcasts and social media content. We'll work with white papers, reports, webinars, blog posts, podcasts, videos, lots of different types of long form audio, video and written content that we can help you repurpose, or we can provide you with some consulting and strategic advice on what you can be doing with your content marketing. So if you'd like to hear more about that, just head to content10x.com/services. That brings this episode to a close. So all that's left to say is thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode.